A little maintenance project down in the engine room today. I bought some new transmission coolers for the Ford Lehmans, and they've been on there about 1,200 hours. They say to replace them at 1,500. Some say 1,000, so it's right in the middle. So we're going to change them out, and I'm going to film some of that procedure. I haven't really seen anything on YouTube that explicitly shows this process, so this might be the first one out there. We'll see you down in the engine room. Okay, we're down in the engine room here, and this is the trans cooler. And these two lines got to come off, these two hoses and this bracket to get it off. And then I bought American Diesel sells these, so I bought some new ones. Should go on just like that. So we are going to get started here shortly. Got it set up here. Got a little bit of light on it. I've loosened this up and get it hand tight or hand spin now. I always like to put a little piece of paper towel below my work. Might help me save something that drops a little bit. Not always, but it does help. Pry that open just a hair. I've loosened up these hose clamps. There's going to be some water that drains out of this, so not sure how much, so we're going to find out here. I did shut off the seacocks to the engine, so hopefully there won't be a lot of water. A little hose puller here. I'll wait till I get the hose off. Instead of taking it all the way off, I'll just sort of feather it. I also loosened the heat exchanger so I could spin this out of the way. All right, that wasn't too bad. A couple cups of water came out. So you notice this heat exchanger or transmission cooler has a part number A220207. These things look just like the oil coolers, but they have a different number on them. I think they're all the same, but regardless, we'll see what happens here. I'm going to get the other one off on the other side. All right, I'm just going to push this out of the way. I think we can get it that way. Might be some transmission fluid that comes out, so I'm going to dump this water in the bilge and then get the oil. Everything seems to be coming off pretty easily, so that's good news. Maybe because the hose is angled up, won't have to worry about it. Yeah, there's a little bit coming out. Let that drain. gonna have to hold it. I don't really have a way to catch it without holding it. Of course, I'll top off the fluid after we're done with the project. Hold this bucket up. What I'm going to do with this one is just plug it up a little bit with some paper towel instead of waiting for it to fully drain. This one's getting thrown out anyway, so. All right, we'll loosen up the other one. So again, these were changed in, the date on it says 2017, so it's been almost 9 years. Definitely ready. One thing I'm going to have to do when I get this apart is go to the hardware store and get some oil applicable thread tape. So I'll have to stop the video after I get this line off. All right, both of these are off. Clean up the threads. And I'm going to go over to the hardware store once I get this off. All right, it's off. Plug it up. Hard to tell what it looks like inside, but it don't matter, it's going in the trash. All right, the new one has a date and hours on it. I'm going to put that on there before I put it back in, so I'll be back shortly. All right, I know there's different schools of thought about threads on a transmission cooler line. Some say you don't need any help. Others say they use the yellow tape. There's this paste. I think I'm going to get this and just put it at the very base, and it'll lead up to it rather than all over it. And I'm going to get some of that for the stock anyway, so using that for something else later. All right, in addition to these products I got from the hardware store, this boat came with a whole bunch of hardware. So I sorted through it, and I wanted to start fresh with the little bolt nut combo that clamps the transmission coolers in. It's that old nasty one. It's probably been here since the boat was commissioned in 1987. I got two New ones about the same size, so we're going to put those on as well. First thing I'm going to do here is just clean up these threads a little bit with the old sealant on there, whatever was on there. I'll start with nothing if I can. You know, a little stubborn. I'm going to grab a pick. Cheap little pick set from Harbor Freight. It's always nice to have. Turn that light back on. I know tape on here. Why I change it is because some of the tape may come off and go into your transmission. You don't want that floating around in there. So, okay, we're gonna pop this back on. Yep, backwards. Get a little bit of this off here. Alrighty, just gingerly put it back in. going to snug them down. I don't want to over tighten these. That's probably good. Okay, we got one. Two. Forget the heat exchanger side. All right, now we can put our new bolt on here. This is probably always the hardest part because when you bend that thing, it's hard to get back together. So you gotta just try to get it there best you can. Straighten it out a little bit. Okay, this is a payoff here, trying to get this nut and lock washer on without losing it with one hand. And on this side, it's the left hand, of course. Might have just enough to get a couple threads here. Looks like it. Okay. Now, see if I got the right socket for this one. Looks like it. Tighten. All right. One more test of the lines. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, I think we're good. Okay, I think we successfully changed this oil or transmission oil cooler, and we got to do the other one here, which is on this side. And I'm not going to put that on film because it's the same process, but I'll show you the end result. Alright, so the second job is done. A lot faster not filming it. Probably took about 20 minutes, maybe 15. Very similar to the first one. no change. Just make sure that you put them on the right way. The engines are reversed, so you gotta do the opposite what you're thinking on this side. Just match what's there. I'm not sure if they're directional, but I just put them on the same way they came off. So. All right, that's the oil transmission oil cooler change. The transmission oil cooler change every 1,000 hours or so is a good benchmark. Okay, that's it for today.